What's up, YouTube? It's Daryl here, and today is all about catching fire. No. Catching fire. Yeah, that's more like it. Financial independence, retire early. Look, if any or all of those four words interest you, you're going to want to stay tuned and hear what I have to say, because this video is life-changing. Yes, today we are talking about catching fire. I couldn't be more excited to get this series started. Accountability for myself, education for you, and of course, the experience of the journey. Now, if you don't know what fire is, well, I'm going to tell you. But first, take just a second out of your day. Since you're already watching, hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell. Hit all so you're notified every single time I post a video or go live. And of course, you have to obliterate that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now, what is FIRE? Well, FIRE is financial independence, retire early. It's a lifestyle movement with the ultimate goal of achieving financial independence and retiring early by increasing your income, decreasing your expenses, and maximizing your savings. And at the same time, you're going to be accruing assets that provide you with passive income that's going to sustain you through your retirement years. And when it comes to catching fire, there's not even one type or one way of doing it. First, there's lean fire, where you retire on less money and you live frugal in your retirement years. And then there's fat fire, where you increase your wealth with passive income and investments to the point where when you retire, you don't have to worry about your expenses every month. There's barista fire, where you retire or semi-retire and your partner continues working, or any combination, to be honest, that you see fit for you. It's all about finding the amount of money you need to live off of when you retire. And how do we find that out? Well, that's called your FIRE number. And we're going to find that using the 4% rule. The 4% rule is a well-known rule among stock market investors seeking financial independence, and it refers to the safe withdrawal rate. That is the rate at which you can withdraw from your investment portfolio without ever depleting that portfolio. Now, how do we come to that number and why? Now, the 4% rule first appeared in the Trinity study from Trinity University in San Antonio. The study found, using back-tested real market data, that any investment portfolio made up of 50% stocks and 50% bonds with a withdrawal rate of 4% never once exhausted in any of their experiments. Now the fun part. Let's figure out my FIRE number. Step 1. I need to set a goal for what I think I'm going to need to live off of annually when I retire. Now, I've already done my estimates and calculations, and I think it's going to be somewhere around $20,000 annually, or a little over $1,650 a month. So once you have your annual number, you're going to take that and you're going to multiply it by 25. This number is now your FIRE number. My FIRE number is $500,000. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, and it is. You're probably asking, how am I going to save up $500,000, Daryl? Well, the answer is you're not. You're not going to save up $500,000, and neither am I. But what you're going to do is you're going to increase your income, you're going to decrease your expenses, and you're going to maximize your savings and save as much money as you can, and then you're going to let your money go to work for you. How, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Obviously, that's how these videos work. But first, if you're still with me at this point in the video, take just a second and comment the word FIRE below so I know that I have your attention and you're interested. Either way, I'm going to keep going with this series. But I have to get to my plan, because as you know, a goal without a plan is just a dream. Okay, now we get to the important stuff. How do we do this? How do we make our money work for us? Well, when you go out and you work, you're working for your money. You're giving your hours, your time, your energy. In exchange, you're getting a paycheck. That is active income. Well, we're going to go out and we're going to invest our money into things that make money for us. We go to sleep at night. We go to eat dinner. We go to the bathroom. Heck, you want to take a dump and you want to get paid to do that? You can do that because every minute of the day you can be making income with passive income. This is the ultimate goal. This is the ultimate achievement. Now, of course, everybody's going to have a different plan. Not all people are going to have the same starting point or the same end point. This plan just happens to be what I'm setting out to do. So first, I've already mentioned it a couple of times, but the first part of my plan is to increase my income. I found different ways at my main job to increase my income by taking on smaller odd jobs, and I'm always seeking another chance to make $1 in an ethical way. And of course, at the same time, I'm trying to decrease my expenses. This doesn't always mean cutting bills out or turning off your cable. Sometimes decreasing your expenses can just be the choice you make to eat at home instead of eating out. It's all about the little choices that you make. A penny saved is a penny earned, right? Next would be my credit score. Now, I never really started with a good credit score, and I did nothing for my first decade of adulthood but destroy it. So I found myself in a bad situation when I began this, and my credit score was in the low 500s. Then, I needed credit cards. Trust me, with a sub 550 credit score, it's not going to be very easy to qualify for credit cards. So I recommend the very first thing you're going to want to do is to get a secured credit card. Now, a secured credit card allows you to put down like a deposit, say $200. Then you get a $200 credit limit. And after a set period of paying that credit card off on time and utilizing it in a proper way, they're going to give you your deposit back and you're going to have a standard credit card. Now, the first card I'd recommend is the Capital One Platinum card. I can almost guarantee you're going to get approved for this card. Next would be the Discover It card. Again, I got both of these cards with a $200 deposit, and I have $200 credit limit on each of them. Now, personally, I went and got both of these cards in the same day, and I considered it like phase one of my credit card plan. And then once I get to maybe around a 650 credit score, I'm gonna start phase two, where I seek maybe an Apple credit card or an Amex or a Chase credit card. But that's a different video altogether. What's important now, phase one, secured credit cards, Capital One, Discover It. Now, the first thing I did was went out and got a Roth IRA through Fidelity. You don't have to go through Fidelity. You can go through whoever you want, but this was my personal choice. Now, what is a Roth IRA? Well, an IRA is just an individual retirement account. The Roth part simply means that you put in pre-taxed income, you invest in everything you make off those investments, all of your capital gains, everything you pull out when you retire will be tax-free. Tax-free money. This is why you need a Roth IRA. Now, with a Roth IRA, at my age, the annual contribution limit is $6,000. Now, when I get paid at the end of the week and I want to invest, I make sure that the first money goes towards my Roth IRA because I want to max out that $6,000 contribution by the end of the year. Now, the Roth IRA is just an account. Once the money's in the account, how I choose to utilize it to invest and make money for myself, tax-free money that I'm going to draw out when I retire, is up to me. And I choose, of course, within my Roth IRA to invest in index funds. Index funds aren't like regular stocks, like you go out and you would just purchase Netflix or Google or Facebook or Amazon or Tesla. Say you want to invest in the S&P 500, which is the top 500 publicly traded companies in the United States. Well, you could go out and you could invest in every single one of those 500 companies, or somebody already did that work for you and is invested in all 500 companies, and they put it into one broad index fund and they call it something like, you can invest in an index fund that covers every single company in the United States. Or you can invest in an index fund that only covers companies outside of the United States. You can invest in an index fund that is just bonds. You can invest in an index fund that is real estate. However you choose to do it, index funds are a good, safe way to go for your Roth IRA. Now, over history, these index funds have averaged anywhere between a 6 and a 10% annual return, depending on where you get your information. Next would be my Robinhood portfolio. Inside my Robinhood account, I keep my winner stocks. These are the companies that I believe in and I think are going to win long term. For example, in my Robinhood account, you won't find index funds. You're going to find things like Netflix, Etsy, Google. What the f*** is in there? In Robinhood, for example, you're going to find companies like Netflix, Etsy, Google, DraftKings, and of course Tesla. Now I'm going to invest in these companies long term, and I have no plans to sell anytime soon. And I'm going to continually invest in most of them every single week. And now my final investment portfolio would be Acorns. Acorns is an app that allows you to pick your portfolio type. Mine, for example, is an extremely aggressive portfolio because I want to make more money now. And there's a really cool perk about Acorns. It allows you to link a debit card or a credit card, and every time you make a purchase on that debit or credit card, it rounds up to the nearest dollar, and that difference gets invested directly into your Acorns account. So the more you go out and you spend, the more you're gonna round up. The more you spend, the more you save. And these roundups add up rather quickly. And of course, on top of the roundups, you can choose to invest directly into your Acorns account weekly or monthly, whatever you choose. And the final piece that makes that Acorns plan work is dividends. Now quickly, what are dividends? Well, not only do you make money when a stock goes up when you invest in a company or lose money when it goes down, sometimes a company just pays you money for being an owner. You buy a share, they're gonna pay you a dividend. Now when companies pay you these dividends, you can simply take them and withdraw, or you can invest them back into the company for more shares. This is called DRIP, or Dividend Reinvestment Plan. This is simply the act of taking the dividends when you're paid, investing them back in for more shares, and then next time when it comes up to pay you a dividend, your dividend is going to be more. This continues to happen, and compound interest works in your favor, and then all of a sudden, money. And finally, the biggest and probably most important and pivotal piece to my FIRE journey, real estate. And not just any real estate either. We're talking specifically the BRRRR method. The BRRRR method stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance. And sometimes is another R for repeat, which is a good step because that means you're gonna make more money. The general idea is you're gonna find a property at a deal, you buy it, you renovate the property enough to rent it out to somebody. Then after a period of time, the property's gone up in value, you refinance, you take the difference in cash and use it to purchase another property. Meanwhile, your tenants are still living in the first property. They're likely paying your mortgage down and possibly even some money going to you as income. Now, when it comes to the FHA 203K loan, the only catch for me is that you have to live in the property for the first year. Now, I have no problem with this, but of course, that really hinders the plan if I want to get renters in there and make income and have them help me pay off my mortgage. So my plan is to find a multifamily property where I can live in one unit and renters can live in the other unit. This will help me in two ways. Not only will somebody be paying off most of, if not all of my mortgage, I can also get rid of the rent I'm currently paying, which is about $800 for my apartment. So to recap my plan for catching FIRE, financial independence, retire early. Step 1, I'm going to increase my income, decrease my expenses, and maximize my savings, hopefully to somewhere around 70% of my income. Step 2 is increasing my credit score. Then we get to actually investing. First, I have my Roth individual retirement account. And inside my Roth IRA, I've invested in index funds that cover the domestic market, the international market, bonds, and real estate. Now, these are long-term investments, and I plan to hold them until I retire and maybe even for the rest of my life. Then we have my Robinhood account, which is full of my individual and my winning stocks. These are going to be companies like Netflix, Facebook, Apple, Tesla. I choose to buy them, I choose to sell them when I think I'm going to make the best return. Then my final investment portfolio would be my Acorns account. That was the account I linked my everyday debit card to, and all my purchases round up to the nearest dollar, and the difference gets automatically invested. All my investments within my Acorns portfolio are stocks that pay a dividend, and all my dividends are set to reinvest back into the companies to buy more shares as part of my dividend reinvestment or DRIP plan. And then of course there's real estate. I'm going to be using the BRRRR method, where I go out and I buy, I renovate, I rent, I refinance, and I repeat the process all over again. I'm going to be doing so using the FHA 203K rehab loan. I plan to buy a multifamily property where I live in and a tenant lives in another unit. And in the end, I think the real estate is likely going to be the biggest source of money that comes in to help me get to my FIRE number. To recap once more, my FIRE number to get to financial independence and retire early is currently $500,000.